Yo. Welcome back to Garden Glen Podcast. As always, I'm your host, JB. Joining me is Devontae Forever. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, yo? I'm tired. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Tired as well, but obviously, got some football to talk about. Week 4, man. I feel like we approaching what I call the end of the preseason. You know what I'm saying? It kind of feels like a lot of sloppy play. That's kind of got me a little annoyed. You know what I mean? Just because it shouldn't be that sloppy, but it is what it is, of course. But yo, man, as always, appreciate the love and support. Make sure you leave a comment down below, and then we'll, of course, we'll read it on the show. Talk some week 4, week 5. So we're gonna kick it off as always, man. What's your thoughts on week 4?
It was nasty work all around. I was not a fan of week 4 at all. It was just utter disgusting football. A lot of blowouts.
Right.
There wasn't really any true I think maybe besides the Jets and the Chiefs games was a good game. But everything was just, there's a lot of turnovers this week is the best way to describe it. It was turnover ball football.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. Look, man, like I said, it really did feel like week 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like week 4 in a sense of obviously this feels like it does kind of feel like the season is flying, but it kind of felt like sloppy, like it's like week 4 of the preseason. You know what I mean? Like we're just starting to get into what game speed. It feels like offenses are playing less sloppy, stuff like that. But yeah, man, we're getting there. You know what I mean? I kind of miss the days where they had the 4 preseason weeks and people kind of played. They ramped their way into the season. I feel like we're starting slow year after year now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I'm definitely enjoying, obviously, watching, of course. But yeah, man, we're going to get into a few games. We're kind of going to do this show a little different. At the beginning of the year, me and Devontae made picks all throughout the season. It's also being that we're a quarter away into the season. It's the time to kind of check in on the picks. We're not going to change them, but we're going to see how we feel about that. We're also going to talk about some of the big games and then preview a big game happening Sunday night. You ready, man?
Let's rock. Let's go.
All right, man. We're going to start off with your game, man. Texans defeated the Steelers 30-6. Obviously, you are the resident Steelers fan. Obviously, so I'm going to give the floor to you in a second. I just going to say this, man. Offense is trash. We knew this from my standpoint. But the defense, man, the defense let me down, and it almost looked like they were discouraged in a sense we're on the field too much. There's nothing we could do. The offense ain't really moving the ball for us to give us a break. And as somebody who played defense on one side and you have to rely on the offense to kind of get that second wind, it's tough, man. So that's all I got to say. I didn't know the Steelers were going to lose to the Texans, but I knew that this was going to be like a down year for the Steelers. Matt Canada's still there. So, yeah, disappointed, to be completely honest, but obviously we're going to pass it over to the resident Steeler fan. Devontae, take it away.
So my initial reaction to the Steelers getting smacked by the Texans was this. If for all my wrestling fans, we all know what happened when Mankind fought the Undertaker and Mankind tried to start the match, climbing up the cage, and the Undertaker started beating the Jesus at him, and then he threw him off the table, and all you heard was Jim Ross's commentary of good God Almighty, they killed him. That's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt about this game, okay? I'm not even going to talk about the defense. Why? Because you can't ask your defense to score 14 points a game.
Right.
That's literally unrealistic. If Steelers score 14 points a game, they're going down as a top 10 defense ever.
Right.
Because that's really uncharacteristic. But let's talk about the offense. I understand the defense was on the field the entire time. They got tired. I get all of that. I understand all of that. And that's why I'm not blaming the defense. I'm not coming for the defense yet. Bro, it took until, I believe, the middle of the third quarter to get past the 50-yard line.
Oh, I didn't know that.
To get past the 50-yard line. Bro, do you know how embarrassing that is? That is incredible. Bro, I lied. I think the Steelers had one turnover. I think it was pretty sure it was a fumble. We got the turnover and you got a field goal?
Right.
Bro, Our offense was so bad. And first off, the real biggest problem with this Matt Canada crap is if you ever notice, bro, we have no motion on our plays. No motion. And the reason why we hired this man was because he's supposed to be doing all these exotic ass motions that are supposed to draw defenses and mess up defenses' communications. He hasn't done any of that. Doesn't any of that. We got the best game out of Najee Harris. And we still lost. And the problem is, and I know what people say about my offensive line, I've been hearing it, but the problem is they're not using the scheme doesn't fit the offensive line. This scheme doesn't fit the quarterback. This scheme doesn't fit your wide receivers. Why are we running this scheme?
Right.
What has shown you that we are a sprint pass? First off, sprint pass not working in high school. Who runs a sprint pass type of offense? Nobody runs an east and west offense. Nobody runs a side-to-side offense in this entire football league. And I understand what people are saying. The offense is predictable. Duh, the offense is predictable. Everybody knows. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles is an RPO offense. It's the most predictable offense on the planet. Either he's going to hold the ball here, pull it and run, or he's going to hold it until the linebacker comes up, throw the slant across the middle. It's a very simple offense. But guess what? It fits the Eagles and it works. We are the only team who has an offense that doesn't work for them, and they stick to it. And this is disgusting. And the last thing I'm going to say about it is, if they ever fire Mike Tomlin, it will be because of Matt Canada.
So I just got two questions. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I actually been wanting to ask you this before the show, but I was like, I might as well wait till the show. Obviously, Steelers don't fire coaches mid-year, right? So we know Matt Canada's not going now. He may go at the end of the year, and that's cool. But the Steelers are a premier organization. They don't fire coaches right now, so we know he's there till at least the end of the year, right? What can he do to kind of salvage the rest of this year? Because the defense is playoff ready, right? We know that. The Steelers their special teams are good. They got a good kickers, good punters, stuff like that. Like, what can the offense do this year while Matt Canada's still there to kind of right the ship? Because they're what, 2-2?
2-2.
That's it. The 2-2. Not 0-4. You know what I'm saying?
Say very simple. Run the ball north and south, not east to west, north and south. Make people defend the run so you can use the play action. And then more importantly, you have to run. Why don't we motion George Pickens out and have him do, for example, if you look at how the Packers used Devontae Adams and why Devontae Adams was so disgusting and unstoppable was because they didn't put him in one spot. George Pickens stays to one side of the field.
Right.
It's so easy to know where he's going. Or why don't you use some motions? Oh, boom, now he's in the flat. Or boom, motion him over, then have him run. Like, we only run a curl. We run flood all game long. And that's a problem. That is a complete problem. Now, easy it is to guard flood.
Right.
Especially when you're running it with no motion. Use motions. Use the middle of the field. And for the love of God, run the ball inside the 5-yard line. You know how many times, Jason, we ran the ball inside the 5-yard line? Not once. In 4 games. And as you know, you're 5 years older than me. Does that sound like the Steelers football to you?
No, of course
we don't run the ball in the goal line in the end zone?
Of course not. My second question is, as a Steelers fan, do you think, although obviously it's not Coach Tomlin's fault, but do you think it's time, whether it's for the Steelers or for him, to move on, right? That doesn't mean he deserves to be fired. That does not mean he doesn't deserve to be a head coach. But I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, I feel like his time with the Steelers should come to an end, not him as a head coach, maybe go elsewhere, just new. Basically, I'm thinking like the Andy Reid thing, right? Andy Reid was in Philly. Now, granted, he got fired, but Andy Reid was in Philly for a long time. It took him to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, like Tomlin did, but they got close to get to a few others. But then he went to the Chiefs, and just kind of had like a resurrection, right? And now he's even bigger than what he was before. I think Coach Tomlin can do that now. I know, granted, you're a Steeler fan, so you don't want him to go. I'm just saying, we're talking about for him. Like, do you think it's getting to that point where it's like it'd be better for him to? And I don't have a team in mind, so I'm not saying he should go coach this team. But I'm starting now. I just thought about Andy Reid and how now we know him more for being the Chiefs head coach than Philly. He took him to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I'm starting to wonder, can the same happen for Coach Tomlin?
Do I think Tomlin would be successful anywhere else? Absolutely. I think he's that good of a coach. But more importantly, do I think he should leave the Steelers? No. Why? Bro literally has never had a single losing season. I don't understand. I don't think people understand how hard that is because we're so used to the common stat. Bro, we had a year where we lost Big Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph. We had Duck Hodges at quarterback, and we went 8-8.
Right.
For any other team, that's 2-14.
Right.
So more, and plus, like if our team was bad defensively or something like that and bad offensively, I'd be like, all right, maybe it's time for a change. But in reality, the Steelers don't change who they are. And every decade of their identity, they have never really changed besides the Big Ben AB era.
Right.
That's the only type of change they ever played modern football. Why? Because what do the Steelers want to do? They want to lock people up and play defense. It's a steel curtain.
Yeah.
And now let's be real here. If you put that Big Ben, that AB, and that Todd Haley with my defense right now, you can't tell me we're not front runners to win the Super Bowl.
It's a match made in heaven, of course.
But look, that's what I'm saying. Like, we are built on defense, and like honestly, I feel like the Steelers organization and the New England Patriots organizations, we will never be those organizations that get along with the times. We don't change for nothing.
Okay.
Whether we win or we lose, we don't change. The Steelers gonna play defense and and hopefully, dear God, now try to run the ball. And the Patriots, they play defense and run the ball. And the only reason why you can't really knock it is because we both got six. We got 6 Super Bowls to prove it.
Right.
So
I get it. I'm just thinking because growing up, the Steelers, every time the Steelers was in a playoff game, they were live, right? Yep. Whether they were playing the Patriots, who obviously was the juggernaut of that decade, and the decade after, whether they're playing it doesn't matter, Jacksonville, who obviously a few years ago, it's like, okay, Steelers, they get in, it's a rat, you know what I mean? But the last 2 times we saw them in the playoffs, I know some people picked them to beat the Browns when they went to 11, when they started out 11-0. But I picked the Browns to win that game. I thought the Browns was just better team except the quarterback, obviously Baker Mayfield. Besides the quarterback, I thought the Browns the defenses were close. That's not disrespect to Pittsburgh's defense, but it was close. You know what I mean? Myles Garrett was on a tear that year. And then obviously when they played the Chiefs before that, I just
no.
But even then, I feel like saying okay, Steelers going into a game, they got no chance. That's not Steelers. And I don't like the Steelers as a Raider fan. You know what I mean? But I'm not seeing that Steeler lore no more. Hard-nosed, run the rock. Obviously, the defense is there, but the offensive line, big, physical, nasty. I'm just not seeing that, and it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? I know the league itself has changed as a whole, but it's kind of weird to not see that no more.
I agree with you, but one thing, we've had 3 coaches in 50 years. Let's just start right there. We've had 3 coaches in 50 years.
True.
And all of them all retired on their own, and magically they're all Hall of Famers.
Yep.
So until Mike Solomon's like, yo, I'm ready to be done, he probably ain't going nowhere. 2, most importantly, I think also is because we had players who fit the scheme of what we want to do. We don't the only actual person on our offensive line who we actually scouted to run the football was the Eagles guard Isaac Seumalo, who we just got. Yep. That's the only one. We lost out on Orlando Brown Jr. We lost out in a bidding war for Teron Armstead. Yep. Who went to the Dolphins and they're murdering people. So honestly,
not last week,
but normally they're murdering people. So I think with us, it's just about also it's very new for Mike Tomlin. If we're being honest, this is the first time we're actually seeing Mike Tomlin in actual control. Why? We had Ben Roethlisberger. He didn't have to worry about the offense. We had Big Ben for 20 years, for damn near 20 years. And then when Bill Cowher left, we had veterans. We had Troy Polamalu. We had Lamar Woodley. We had Casey Hampton. So basically, all he did was make sure our DBs were safe. And as a DB coach, that's what he did. He made sure our secondary covered well. Our linebackers were disgusting. Our D-line was disgusting. So defense-wise, we're starting to get back there to that. We're trying to get back to that identity of being dogs on defense, but people forget on offense, we had no problem easily being able to put up 30 points on you because we had a guy at quarterback. The problem is we don't know if we have a guy at quarterback because of this. And I'm telling you, I can't judge Kenny Pickett until I see him out of this scheme. I don't think there's a quarterback alive who could play in the scheme we're playing in right now.
Right.
You can put Pat Mahomes, you can put the GOAT Mahomes, quote unquote, on my team. He would look average because all you do is run and flood.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's get to the comments, man. I am upset with the Steelers, even though I'm not a fan of the Steelers. I'm not a fan of the Steelers, but I like, for example, the Niners, right? Let's say we see the Niners play Dallas this week. The Niners just throwing the ball. They ain't running into the rock at all. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm used to seeing certain things from certain teams. But all right, let's get to these comments. Dana B. Sousa said, "What's up, nephews? What's going on? Steelers got smacked."
Fact. Fact.
He also said Washington should have won. That was a game. Washington, yeah, that was a great game. Look, Eric B, man. Eric B, what he's doing with Sam Howell and the crew. I like it. Jessica Brown with the footballs. Appreciate it as always. Glenn Former is good, Pops. He said Tomlin should go.
He's an AFC North. No. And just no. But he's a Bengals fan, so I'm not surprised.
It worked for Andy Reid. You know what I mean? That ran the.
I'm not saying he won't be successful. We would be trash. To get who?
I mean, there's coaches out there.
Who?
Mike Tomlin was a secondary coach before he became Mike Tomlin.
To get who?
Just saying.
To get who?
Sharon Mullins said, "Yo, what's going on? Steelers fans is in the house. We're being invaded right now. We're being invaded right now.
Come on now."
Pop says success in the past doesn't matter. The old way is the old way.
I don't agree. I mean, I agree, but I don't at the same time. When you ever, because it depends on what you consider as the old way. Because technically,
I mean, so not necessarily the AB era they're playing, but this still the way they're kind of running the offense. It kind of does remind me a little bit of the Mike Wallace era, except they're not running the ball as efficiently. I'm sorry. With the Steelers, it starts there, man. Najee, I gripe with them. The offensive line, we know it's not good, but sometimes, like I watch the film, as we both watched the all 22 film. There's holes there for him to get to, but it's like sometimes it's a lot of dancing first. And I know he said he used to watch Bell. He studied his tape when he was in college. But I'm like, sometimes you just got to go. You know what I mean? Because look, the offensive line is bad, but every offensive line in the NFL, if they open up some holes, you know what I mean? There are some holes. And it's like they can't get on the same accord. I think we need to lock him in like a warehouse, all five of them plus him, and just figure it out. Because
it's the best play they called all game last against the Texans, a halfback trap. That was the best play they got. It was like Najee ran for 20 yards on a halfback trap.
Reggie Brown was good, bro. Like I said, Steelers fans are invading. Said fire Matt Canada.
Bro.
Sharon said, thank you. Canada has to go. And he said, don't listen to Pops. He's a Bengals.
Jay, we haven't scored over our offense hasn't scored 30 points in 3 years.
Yeah, that's bad. All right, Devontae, you ready? We're gonna get into these
Let's go.
Let's go back and look at our predictions that we had at the beginning of the year. Obviously, there is one in my mind before I even look at what teams I picked that I know is way off now, just because they got to a bad start of the year. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to it. All right, man. We're going to kick this off. AFC East. I had the Dolphins. You had the Bills. Obviously, they just played. Bills smacked the Dolphins. But, how do you feel about your Bills pick?
That's not. I feel like I'm still confident about it now that they beat the Dolphins. I'm still confident about it.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I'm still confident about me picking the Dolphins. I know they just got smacked by the Bills. But at the same time, it wasn't Buffalo. The next game will be in Miami. I had them splitting anyway, so there's no cause for alarm. You know what I mean? I'm not getting too high on them putting up 70 on the Broncos, and I'm also not getting too low on them getting smacked by the Bills. I think they'll beat Buffalo next time in Miami. So obviously there goes the season split that I predicted. I'm not mad at that one though. All right. AFC West, we both picked the Chiefs. Chiefs don't quite look like the Chiefs. Mahomes is still doing his thing with the scrambling. What's your thoughts on that?
They look better, still better than half than most of that division. I see no problem with the Chiefs winning that division, clear as day.
Okay. Yeah, man. This is interesting for me because I don't feel as good about the Chiefs as I did, but it's not like the Chargers, Broncos, or Raiders have given me any reason to not. You know what I mean? That's what bothers me about it. Because I actually do, I'm not too high on the Chiefs right now, man. But that's more in terms of the Super Bowl, not necessarily the division. Because I don't believe in the Chargers. I do not believe in the Broncos. And you know how I feel about the Raiders. I think you talking about Matt Canada. He ain't the worst play caller in the league. That's Josh McDaniels.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Like Josh McDaniels is the worst play caller in the league. Now, this is not to say the Chiefs is getting knocked out wild card divisional. I still think the Chiefs are going to maybe. It basically depends on the matchups. I think the Ravens are tough, healthy. I think the Buffalo's tough, healthy. Miami's tough, healthy. So depending on the matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City ended up back in the Super Bowl, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't be surprised this year if they got knocked out in the divisional round. They're a powerhouse team. Next year, it doesn't mean next year they're falling off, or that's all worry about the Chiefs. I'm just saying the offense don't look as sharp. I think the weapons have went down, but as we saw against the Jets, Mahomes with the legs and scrambling, perfectly timed scrambles, they still could get it done. And as long as they got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and a good offensive line, no disrespect to Kelsey, they're gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And just let me take this because I know I've said I'm kind of down on the Chiefs. I really mean their offense. That defense, this is I'm telling you right now, injuries, Ben, I know Nick Bolton didn't play in the last game. If they can stay healthy, this is the best defense I've seen the Chiefs have in at least a decade. And I know they won Super Bowls with other defenses, but that defense is like, I'm not the biggest fan of Spags. I know he's what is he now, 4-time champion as a coach, but at the same time, that defense is flying. Trent McDuffie,
yeah,
he a problem. You know what I mean? He's a problem.
He's scrappy. He's scrappy,
man. I love the way he come up and make the tackles. But all right, this one is tough. AFC North, we got the Bengals, with the start they got off to, and the Ravens, who the injury bug again. How do you feel about your pick?
I feel perfect about my pick. I'm dead right. I'm dead right. Like Lamar look better than every quarterback in this group right now. And I think it's very clear. It's just the fact of even with even with like some of their nicks and crannies and with their nicks and injuries, Lamar is still that dangerous. And I'm just not surprised.
I feel you on that. It's just the injuries is what bothers me about the Ravens. That's to be honest, that's why I didn't pick them. But real quick, Sharon Mullen says, but every season we say the Chiefs don't look like the Chiefs, but then they won the Super Bowl. Look, again, they got Patrick Mahomes, they got Andy Reid. I feel that. I completely feel that. But at the same time, I'm worried about the weapons and the Swifties. And he said, no, Jason, Canada's the worst play caller.
Thank you.
Look, man, are y'all watching these Raiders games besides when they play the Steelers, man? Josh McDaniels had a chance to go for it to tie the game against the Steelers after the kick a field goal, knowing the defense was not going to see the ball again. That's
Jason,
all I'm saying.
We had 53 yards at halftime. I could go get 53 yards right now. They had 53 yards at halftime.
Look, man, I'm just saying.
No, you ain't saying nothing. They had 53 yards at halftime.
Travis Kelce's about to go down a bit because of Taylor Swift. Watch what
She's not a Kardashian. Like,
look, I'm fed up with this Taylor Swift.
I don't give a damn.
She could be at the games. I have no problem being at the games. I have no problem with the locker room stuff. We don't need to cut to her every time something happened. Now, if Travis Kelce scored a touchdown and you want to show her in the booth, like, cool, right? I'm cool with that. Devontae, they showing her before they cut the break. They showing her when she get back to break. They show it's like, yo, we don't care, man.
We don't care at all.
I know there's millions of people who watch that game more than they normally do because of Taylor. But I'm done with it, man. I'm done already. And it's not just because it's the Chiefs. I'm a Raiders fan. If she dated Garoppolo, I'd feel the same way, to be honest.
I don't give not one damn about Taylor Swift. at these football games.
Pop said, I agree with you, Jay. Chiefs don't look the same. They look suspect even with the Swifties. Yes, I watched the Raiders 2. Canada is the worst. You know what? Because of that Texans loss, I'm gonna give it to y'all. Cause I know the Raiders, they lost a close game with the Chargers, which no get me started on the Chargers, with all the talent they got. I fed up too, and I'm telling you, all this hype about her is gonna mess up his mojo. Ass Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson. I remember, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. All right, Devontae, let's get back into it. AFC South. We both picked the Jaguars. I know they just beat the Falcons in London, and I know that they play London again. They got the Bills coming up. I'm not happy on what I've seen from them.
Neither am I. I'm not happy really what the Jaguars have been doing. The Texans look really good, which threw me all way off. But definitely I can see the Jaguars still winning this division. But they definitely got a lot of young talent that they're going to actually have to pay attention to. Anthony Richardson has really been playing good ball. He's actually a better thrower than we all thought.
Yes.
But once again, bro gonna have to learn how to slide very soon, because he's getting hurt a lot.
Like RG3, man.
He better learn how to slide if he wants to make it in this league. But definitely has a promising future. The AFC South actually might not be as boring as we think it's going to be.
That's, you know what, the Texans there, the Titans, they hot and cold, man.
Every other game
with the Titans, man. It's kind of crazy. Shout out to my boy Bill Saber in the chat. What's good, bro? I know the Bills win, and I had a feeling. Bills Mafia was going to send somebody up in here, man. I had a feeling somebody started the year. That's before Joe got. Actually, Joe was hurt, but I thought he'd be better. I don't know what's going on with the Bengals, because it's not just Joe being hurt. The offensive line seems like it's regressed even from late last year. The defense got some new players. They're actually not playing quite as bad. They got shredded against the Titans though, but I don't know what the hell's going on with the Bengals, man. Obviously I am worried about some of the picks that I picked for the Bengals. So, but the Jaguars, I still feel okay with them winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not. It's bothering me how they look so far. You know, the Chiefs game, they didn't even score. They didn't even score a touchdown. Now, granted, the Chiefs defense is a little better than I thought it was, but the fact they didn't score, they did look better against the Falcons. So I'll give them that. Get these comments real quick. My boy will say what's good. He said Bills Niners Bowl. That's gonna be a hell of a game if that's what that game shakes out to be. Of course, healthy, of course, because both the Bills and the Niners with the injuries too. We talk about the Ravens, like both of those teams too. I know Von Miller should be back shortly though. That's my guy right there, man. Said Joe's bugging right now, and the Jags look all right. All right, bro. Look, man. I'm a little worried about the Jags, man. A little worried about the Jags. It's just look, but like Devontae said, the South might be a little better than we thought. Let's jump to the NFC, man. The NFC East. I picked the Cowboys to win that division. I think this is the year they jump Philly. You pick Philly. Philly is 3-0. I mean, I'm sorry, 4-0, and Dallas is 3-1. Obviously, both. Philly had a close game that they like squeaked out. Dallas absolutely murdered the Patriots. What's your thoughts on this? How do you feel about this so far 4 weeks in?
I feel great about it. How do you feel about this Cowboys pick? Please tell me. Enlighten me. How you feel about this Cowboys pick? I feel wonderful about the Eagles pick.
I feel great about the Cowboys pick. They didn't play yet. They didn't play Charles yet. They got a big test. This week. Week 5 was the week we talked about. We circled it. Dallas traveling to Santa Clara to see the Niners. We talked about this. We'll preview that game in a little while. But I still feel good, man. The three. Look, is Philly going 16-0, 17-0?
No.
Exactly. So Dallas is 3-1. Philly's 4-0. They're a game behind. Do you fear Giants or Washington? Really, realistically?
Washington, I ain't gonna front Washington. Look
to win the division.
No. Oh, my bad. No.
Okay, so it's still Philly and Dallas. You know what I mean? So
no, it's one team, but I will save that take later. for
They
our
lost to the
main
Cardinals. Did the
topic.
card look? My
I'll
boy
save that
Saber-
take for my main topic.
Saber said, "I'll never trust the Cowboys to ever lose until the Cards as well." Cards almost came back on the Niners until McCaffrey went beast mode. You know what I mean? Like the card.
Shout out Josh Dobbs.
So far, I think it's fair to say the Cardinals and the Texans are the two teams that we thought was like garbage that don't seem to be garbage. Look, they better than the Raiders, both of them. You know what I mean? So I can't really talk. And Sharon said McCaffrey is balling, which he absolutely is. That man right now is definitely the MVP race. I know they give it to the quarterbacks. I know they give it to the quarterbacks, but he needs to at least be in. Yeah, like bro, that man is balling right now.
It ain't close right now. That man
is balling right now. All right, Devontae. NFC West. We both picked the Niners. Obviously, they are out to a 4-0 start. They've had some big wins. I still feel good about the Niners. The Rams. Same here. The Rams are shocking me with their younger players, but the Niners.
It ain't enough. Yeah, it ain't enough.
I think the Niners. I think this actually would be the biggest gap of a divisional win in the entire league.
I agree. I agree.
All right. The NFC. Carr is banged up with that shoulder. I didn't think he should play Sunday. I know it was a divisional game. I'm a little worried, but not so worried. The Bucs are playing better than I thought. You know what I mean? But I still feel like they're going to fall at the end. I think, I did say that I thought the Saints was going to win the division by default. And I still kind of feel that way, but I will say I am impressed with the Bucs. We know the Bucs got talent. We know they got talent. But at the same time, Baker's playing well. The defense is playing well. I still think the Saints will win, but I'm not as boisterous about it, if that makes sense.
It's an ugly ass division. It's gonna be the ugly. Every year there's like a really ugly ass division that goes like where the dude who made the playoffs is like 7-9. I feel like this is gonna. Every year there's always that one like how the hell did they make the playoffs type team? This is gonna be that division. This is gonna be that division. So like I'm not surprised with the Saints. If the Bucs win, I won't be surprised. But I see them both all gonna be like 8-8 or 7-9.
Okay. Saber said Commander way better than I thought too. Sam Howell's not bad. Look, man, he's not. He has an arm. He's accurate, and I like how Eric B is calling plays out there. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be head coach. Wait on it.
Using motion. Look, I think Ron Rivera hired him with the expectation. I think it's kind of going to be like what Bruce did for Todd Bowles. Yep, where like okay, yeah, like technically, yeah, you're a coordinator under me, but look, I ain't gonna be here long. I'm out of here soon. It's yours. You know what I mean? I hope at least. Sharon said the NFC West Niners. Pop said, watch the Rams. Cup is back.
Niners.
Do you think that division becomes tougher next year?
Yeah. Okay. I can see it next year, but not this year. It's okay. Niners gonna dog stomp that division.
Sharon said Carr's shoulder is a problem. Yeah, it did. It not so much with the throwing, but every time he gets hit, you know what I mean? You could tell it hurts like hell. You know what I mean? I still think they should sit him. I hate that Eric B is there. I can't stand that team. That's fair. He's doing well, though. He's doing well.
I wish we got Eric B. Said
the Rams? Nah. All right, Devontae, this next division, the NFC North. We both picked the Lions. They are 3-1.
I'm still on it.
Obviously beat the Chiefs the opening weekend and then dropped the game to, I believe it was the Seahawks in overtime.
Yep, and they cooked the Packers.
They cooked the Packers on Thursday night. Yep. How do you feel about it? Good?
Oh, I'm right on the money. We right on the money with this. Yep. We told people last year the Lions have arrived. Shot out of the abyss. The Lions have arrived. People picked. I know what Brian Daboll did last year. Blah 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 blah. I always thought the head coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell, was coach of the year last year. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think the Lions have been to the playoffs in this decade. And so I thought he got robbed last year for coach of the year, but we seeing it on clear display right now.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
Matt Harris said, prediction is New England winning out and going to a Super Bowl and winning. Sheesh.
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Sheesh.
Don't do drugs, kids.
No, Matt's my guy, but at the same time, I don't know about that one, bro.
I ain't not seeing that one. Mac Jones, no. No.
All right.
See.
Yo, if he hit right on that prediction, man, yo, I'm calling you for every single bet ever.
For the rest of my life.
He said Bills own that division for a good decade. Sheesh.
All right, nah, that's not.
Pop said Lions are not ready yet. Ready for what, Pops? You talking about Super Bowl? You talking about a deep playoff run? What are you talking about ready? Because right now the Vikings
and win the division.
The Vikings ain't looking good. And they play the Chiefs, which is another L this week. Packers are not quite there yet. I do like what I see from the Packers, just not there yet. You know what I mean? And then Bears are the Bears. But
yep.
All right. So this is where it kind of gets interesting. We both picked the wild cards, the AFC wild cards. I picked Baltimore, the Jets, and Buffalo, right?
Oh,
obviously, I picked the Dolphins to win the division. I know they just got shellacked by the Bills. I do think they'll split. I had them splitting anyway, so I'm not ready yet to back off that Dolphins pick. I know Saber's in the chat. That's my guy. He's Bills Mafia all the way, but at the same time, bro. So I had to pick, man. Baltimore. I'm good with that. I do think Baltimore will make the wild card, if not win the division now with Cincinnati's whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? So I'd probably move Baltimore to the division winner if I had to, you know what I mean? If I had to do anything. My picks are locked in. These picks are locked in, so we're not going to change them. We're talking about how we feel about them, right? I would move Baltimore to the division winner almost by default, right? Because the Bengals, but I still would move the Bengals to that wild card spot. I do think they'll get it together. The Jets, I didn't know Rodgers was going to tear his fucking Achilles. four plays in, man.
Same here.
I didn't know that. All right.
Same here.
And Buffalo, I had them as the 5 seed because I thought them and the Dolphins were going to be neck and neck all year. It basically came down to, because I did have them splitting, who can beat the other teams? You know what I mean? Who could beat the other teams they got to play? So you had Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and the Jets. How do you feel about yours?
I hate all 3 of these picks. I hate every last one of these picks. But if I had to pick one I think could still make the playoffs, probably would be the Bengals. Because no matter what, as like rough Joe Burrow been playing, Jamar Chase is still a bad man. T. Higgins will get back to his normal self, and then hopefully when Joe Burrow gets healthy, he'll be able to use his legs a little bit more and spread it out. So I think the Bengals one I'm most confident in, but the Jets, hell no, they ain't making no damn playoffs.
Right.
And it's looking very, very dark for my Steelers right now. It looks like a long shot of hell will make the playoffs this year. So with that being said, I don't feel good about none of these in the AFC right now.
Okay. So is there a team that's popped up? Like, so for me, look, I would love to say the Chargers, but I'm not a fan of them, obviously, but they perpetual screw ups. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know, man. Like a lot of these teams, like I'd have to probably pick somebody from the North, maybe. Right? Like I don't know, man. Texans are playing better. Well, who knows, man? The NFC seems wide open in terms of the wild card right now. So we're gonna switch to the NFC, but before that, let's get to these comments. Pop said deep run offense is not strong enough. He's talking about the Lions.
Oh.
Deep run said the offense is not strong enough. Look, I can see the Lions, they're gonna win the division, we think. It depends on that matchup, right? It depends on who they draw. Because I know they only lost one game, but I did not like how they looked in that Seattle game versus a team that was scoring with them. You know what I mean? But Hutchinson's a monster though. That dude's a monster. I like the moves they're making.
The Lions remind me of the 2010 Jets.
Okay. Which went to the conference championship game though.
They're not going to the conference championship game. They're going to win one playoff game.
Saber laughing at me because of the Dolphins and having the Bills in the wild card. Cowboys versus Eagles NFC championship. Chiefs versus Dolphins AFC.
Oh, sweet Jesus,
championship.
No. Cowboys NFC championship, my ass.
He's still laughing. All right, Devontae, NFC wild card. You had Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, and the Seattle Seahawks. Talk to me. How are you feeling about that?
Take the Giants out. I'd take the Giants out. If I could do it over again, I would take the Giants out. and maybe put probably maybe like a LA Rams in there, or like a or like maybe a Green Bay and a wild like pick.
Yep. So
no, actually, I take that back. My bad. Nah, I take that back. I would take the Giants out, and I would definitely put Kirk Cousins primetime, Mr. Now No primetime Kirk Cousins.
Look, man, no. So let me tell you right now. When I said there was a team that I felt dumb for picking, it was the Giants. It was the Giants. Something told me don't pick these damn Giants to make the. Obviously, I have Cowboys winning the division, so naturally I got Philly making one of them, right? We both think Seattle will make one of them. If I had to take the Giants out for one team, it actually would be the Bucks.
Okay.
It'd be the Bucks. It'd be the Bucks. My only worry about the Bucks is Mike Evans is due to be hurt, miss a game, and we know Godwin's gonna be hurt to miss a game. Other than that, I like what I'm seeing from the Bucks. So I'd go. Obviously, our picks are locked, but I would go Philly, Seattle, Bucks.
What possessed me to pick the Giants? I'm so
disgusted. I don't know. It's the last time I'll ever pick the Giants, to be honest.
It's nasty.
Pop said, after 4 weeks, NFL has been weird as usual right now. A lot of pretenders, but will they be contenders? That's how I kind of feel that way, because it's like I feel like the less they play in the preseason, the more sloppy the opening weeks are. The only teams that seem to be clicking right now,
Niners,
is the Niners. I'd even say Buffalo past that first game. I'd say Dallas minus the Cardinals game, because I can't even say Philly. I know they won all 4 games, but they don't look right. You know what I mean? No. They don't look right. So I'd say those teams.
Detroit.
But the Lions, yes, the Lions. Said, nah, Giants will look good on paper before the season. They didn't. They did, though. They did, because some of the rookies they brought in and some of the players they acquired, I expected not the receiving core to be great or good. I'm not even say good, but they're fast as hell. We saw it. They're fast as hell. But Saquon's hurt right on schedule. You know what I mean? Right on schedule. They hurt. I don't know. What you got?
Name one. Bro. All right. See, this is where I put your Dak Prescott and your Daniel Jones. They in the same category to me, okay? And just okay. Quarterbacks and big markets. They're in a massive market. Dallas Cowboys, pretty much the most hated face, quote unquote, of football, even though they haven't won anything since '93. Okay. You got the Giants. New York, the Apple, the Mecca of the world. He's the quarterback of the Giants. He is not that good. They took him because he looks like a Manning. He looked exactly like Eli Manning, so they drafted him. I'm sorry. You're telling me, if you look at Eli Manning, right? Technically, is Eli Manning going to be a Hall of Famer? Yeah. He has 2 of the most iconic Super Bowls, 2 of the most iconic playoff runs, yes. But do his numbers say NFL Hall of Famer? Not really. Not really. But I think we would all agree Eli Manning is a better thrower of the football than Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Okay, then. That's why I said he is a lookalike of Eli Manning. The only difference is that he's white and he can run.
Okay. We're going to get to Daniel Jones in just a second, because there's a debate that's been stewing this entire time that we're going to talk about shortly. Said Pats vs. Giants going to end in a tie this year.
That's funny.
Saber said Jones just some buns. Pop said, when Niners lose, will they bounce back? They aren't any total locks after week 4. Not sold on Niners as a full season powerhouse. My only problem with them is these injuries, man. Look, the Niners, I know it's coming, right? I know the injury's coming, and Baltimore ain't done yet either. I wish healthy for all the teams in the league, but the Niners, if their history told, McCaffrey going to have the hamstring or the toe problem, you know what I mean? Brandon Ayuk's he's going to be out a few games. We know it's coming.
People didn't even know who Brock Purdy even was till last year,
right?
Because everybody else got hurt,
right?
You know how elite of a system you gotta have
Right.
for like half your team to get hurt and still make the NFC Championship?
All right, Devontae. So obviously, with that set, you had the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm all right on it. I'm not really sold on any team in the AFC period at this point.
Right.
At this point of life. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. I still could be right. Still definitely and still 100% could be wrong because it is week 4 and literally every single team in the AFC has looked trash at a certain point.
Right.
They've looked ooh, I'm not sold on this yet at a certain point. So I'm not mad at that. Maybe right now, I guess you would have to throw the Bills in there, but like
Over
something,
who?
Probably over the Ravens. But I just think schematically in my head, I think the Chiefs and Bills are going to play in the divisional. They're going to somehow mess around and play in the divisional round.
Yep.
And that's why I picked the Chiefs.
So if you remember, that's what I said. The reason I didn't have the Chiefs in the AFC Championship because I said this is going to be the year the Bills beat the Chiefs, but I don't think they're going to meet in the AFC Championship. I think they're going to meet in the divisional round, right? Like that's what we talked about.
Yep.
However, here's my problem. I don't think the Bengals are going to win the division. I think they might be a little too far behind. Baltimore already has a victory over them. In Baltimore, they always play the Bengals tough. And you know what I mean? And Cleveland, I'm not saying Cleveland's going to win the division, but we know they always play the Bengals tough. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And obviously Steelers Bengals is a rivalry. You never know what's going to happen in those games. That's one of the hardest hitting games of the year.
We split every year.
Yeah.
We split every year.
So I'm a little worried about the Bengals picking them to go that far. I am confident in the Bills still. I still think they'll meet the Chiefs in the divisional round. I still think they'll beat the Chiefs. So I'm confident in that Bills pick. That second team, I'm not sure. It could be a Miami. It could be Baltimore if they're healthy. It could be hell. You never know, man. Like this 4 weeks have been weird. So like I think this is the end of the official preseason. So I think we're about to see, man. Eagles versus the Niners. Both teams are still undefeated. I believe they play later on in the year. How are you feeling? Still good about that?
I'm right on the money right now. I still feel like I'm right on the money with the Eagles versus the Niners.
Well, you're wrong because Dallas will still play the Niners in the NFC Championship, which is funny because I think Dallas will get to it in a little while. I think this game we're about to see Sunday night will be telling of the game later, and I'll explain exactly what I mean in a little while. And so obviously my Super Bowl pick kind of went the hell already. I know Bengals. I still think the Bengals will make the wild card. To be honest, if I had to change it, I will move them from division winner to the wild card. So I still have them in the playoffs. So technically they can, but obviously I do feel good about the Niners going to the bowl though. You had Eagles and Chiefs. You still think Philly could beat the Niners? Okay.
Yeah, you mean I think Philly can slide by the Niners. Just because I don't see the Niners being able to, like, what if they get into like a 2-minute drill? That's what I need to see where you can't just throw a swing pass to McCaffrey or something like that. I need to see the Niners cooking like a 2-minute drill first for me personally. Okay. So that's why I'm gonna rock with the Eagles more. I think the Eagles are more capable to do that. And I got the Eagles beating the Chiefs. Okay.
So I had the Bengals beating the Niners. Obviously they got to go now. I don't care if it's preseason. In my mind, they got to go now. Matt Harris said, "How do you feel about J.C. Jackson going back to the Pats? Do you think he was just bad because the Chargers defense is trash, or he was good and will be back?" Look, something about the Patriots corners when they go elsewhere, it never works out, right? So I literally made a post today, joking, saying, "Oh, J.C. Jackson went back to New England. He's good again." Like, you know what I mean? Like he's going to be good again.
Oh, it is not just the corners. It is every receiver, every linebacker. Jamie Collins, who was trash when he went to the Browns, came back to the Patriots. Nice. Kyle Van Noy went to the Dolphins. Was trash. When he came back to the Patriots. Nice. They always get their players back and make them nice because the Patriot system is
do your job.
Do your job. Oh, you got one job. You're good on this right shade. All right. So when I call a blitz, when I call a play that's going where you're going to be on that right shade, you're going in and dominate. You have to dominate that one rep you're in. That's just how they work. Smart.
So I think J.C. Jackson's going to be good. He already got his money. So shout out to him. I will say, let's take a side to say, I feel horrible for Christian Gonzalez.
Oh, that's my guy.
That kid's a beast, man.
That's
and
my
being
guy.
out for the year with likely a torn labrum is horrible, man.
Yes,
shout out to Christian Gonzalez. Big things from him for next year. But I think next year it'll be good to have Jackson and Gonzalez. You know what I mean? I like that. Saber said regarding the Bills and the Chiefs, we beat them last year. They were better last year, and it wasn't a away game. He also said me telling you, well, you're wrong is wild. That said, I want to see a divisional championship game this year. Okay.
For who?
Like basically saying like he wants to see Bills Dolphins.
Okay.
Eagles Cowboys or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Which is crazy because playing a team for the third time is ridiculous, man. Like it's so hard to beat a team, hell, twice, let alone 3 times. We can still split with division foes. We could lose 3 more, still make a strong run since he has to win the next 2 before. But are we done this year? Anything can happen, but please don't let the Steelers win.
It ain't looking too pretty at this point. So
look,
it ain't looking pretty.
Look, they got to beat the Steelers. They got to take care of. Basically, I don't think they could lose another division game unless they split with the Steelers. You can't get swept by the Browns. You can't get swept by the Ravens. You know what I mean? And based on how the Steelers offense looks now, you got to sweep the Steelers. You know what I mean? Now, if their offense gets better, then fine. But
the hard part is going to be beating Baltimore in Baltimore. Right. That's going to be the tough. That's going to be the tough game. That's going to be the one that screws them up.
Absolutely. All right, so that's that. Let's get into a debate that me and Devontae had. I'm asking y'all to chat. We're going to talk, but I also want y'all to weigh in. Who do you think is the better quarterback right now? Justin Fields or Daniel Jones, man? We know Fields obviously super athletic, has some issues reading defenses as does Jones. Both quarterbacks are athletic, right? Obviously, Fields is lightning fast. Jones is sneakily fast. Both have not had the success they wanted. One was more touted coming out of college. The other one was kind of a puzzling, you know what I'm saying, pick. But right now, Justin Fields or Daniel Jones? Devontae, you think Justin Fields is better? Why?
I think he's better for the long haul. And more importantly, I think he would be better on the New York Giants than Daniel Jones is on the Giants. Why? Because, for example, I think Justin Fields is a game changer. I think if you put him on the Falcons, I think the Falcons are 40 times more better. You put him with like a big, you know why? Because, for example, the Giants run out very much. A lot of the times they run out the gun for some stupid. Yep. I don't understand why they do that anyway, but they run out the gun and they run a read option. In reality, you're still afraid of Saquon Barkley, so you always run with Saquon Barkley because he's that big, he's that much of a game changer. Now imagine having that game changer on with a Justin Fields.
Sure.
Where
he will throwing the ball.
Oh, I was getting to that. To that. Okay. So if you have Justin Fields on that offense, you know what that you turn into? You turn into at least a Baltimore Ravens offense. Where if you ever see Mark Andrews, where Mark Andrews is always wide open.
Sure.
Always wide open. Sure. Because everybody's so afraid of the run, so afraid of the outside run, the inside run, doesn't matter. So like when you hold the ball on the read option that far and the linebackers come up, you pull it. Boom, easy open throw. Why? Because if you ever look at Lamar can throw the ball. I'm not saying Lamar's not smart or anything like that. What I'm saying is Lamar's reads are so much more eye-opening because everybody's afraid of his speed. They're afraid of the run game, and it would make it easier for them. I think the reason why I think Justin Fields also is better than Daniel Jones in my opinion, is because we all talk about how Daniel Jones has nothing. How we talk about how he got hit 11 times and stuff like that. My bad. Sacked 11 times.
Sure.
We talk about how bad his offensive line is. We talk about how bad his receivers is. Have anybody seen the moves the Chicago Bears have made? Not just this 1 year, not just the second year, for the past 15 years. The only good quarterback they had was Jake Cutler, and Jake Cutler literally didn't care about playing football.
Right.
Then they went to the Trubisky era. How long that lasts? Trubisky on my team right now, that didn't do that well. They went to the playoffs.
Didn't they win the playoff game though?
Yes, they beat the Saints 1 year with Matt Nagy. With Nagy, guess what happened after that? Nagy had 1 year of Justin Fields, and they said, get this man out of here. Clearly, not it. And now you got Gus Eberflus. Who is that?
Right. Okay.
Bro, they traded their number second. Think about it. They had the number 1 pick last year. They had the number 1 pick. Traded it away. They had then their number 32 pick. They gave up for Chase Claypool. And I know all about Chase Claypool. Is he a number 1 receiver?
Who they just sent home. Who they just released.
Yep. Who they just released. So look at all of these moves. We always make we all know, as avid New Yorkers, we're Yankee fans. And what do we know about all New York teams? The GMs are all trash. The Knicks GMs trash. The Yankees GMs they ain't looking pretty for us either. And the Giants GMs trash. So we all understand the moves they make are going to be bad, but nobody ever talks about Chicago because nobody ever expects Chicago to win anything anyway. He went to the worst spot he could have possibly went. We look at Daniel Jones and give him more high praise. And why? Because of the market he is in. The Bears did nothing. I like DJ Moore, but what is DJ Moore, Jason? You know what DJ Moore is? What? A dangerous catch and run on a what? A screen, a bubble, stuff like that. Nobody looks at DJ Moore as a number 1 receiver. Nobody looks at DJ Moore as the number 1 receiver. The most shocking player Justin Fields has to throw to is Khalil Herbert.
Okay.
Is Khalil Herbert going to get you anywhere further? Anywhere further? No. So I'm done.
Okay. Look, man, I'm not about to sit up here and pretend the Bears are a good organization. They are trash. They are in disarray. The defensive coordinator just walked away. Chase Claypool was sat down, sent home. So I'm not comparing the situations. I'm not going to do that. Justin Fields is in a worse situation, right? So I'm not about to sit up here and say, like, Daniel Jones is better right now because he may win more games. I'm not saying that. I'm just going by watching them both play. Who I think is better at throwing. Look, Fields get a step, he's gone. He's going to score the touchdown, right? Daniel Jones is going to trip and fall on the 80 yard on the 20. Trip and fall on the 20, right? I get it.
Hilarious.
To be honest, if I'm being completely honest, I think both are okay at best, and I think that's their ceiling, right? I'm nowhere near as high on Fields as you are, right? And I'm not high on Jones either, so please don't take me saying Jones is good, right? But what I've seen, and when I picked him at their best, right? So I'm thinking one of the best ones I've seen Fields, even though he was very young, was when they beat the Raiders, right? In a shock, because the Raiders did go to the playoffs that year. When they beat the Raiders, Fields, I saw what he could do, making throws on the run, right? I saw that. And I was like, okay, I see something. But since then, it's like, and I get it. I get the weapons thing, right? Because look, Giants receiving core is trash. The Bears receiving core is trash. Both offensive lines are not good. I get it. But the problem I'm seeing with Fields is it's like you got legs, man. You got wheels, and he doesn't want to take off. He wants to stay in the pocket and throw, right? At least Jones will take off. I do think Jones is a slightly better passer, right, when it comes to reading defenses, but don't mistake that for me saying he's good.
I'm listening.
Yeah, all right.
I'm listening.
I think right now Jones is better than Fields, only because when I see them at their best, and for me, the best I've ever seen Jones was that playoff game that we just saw when they beat the Vikings. When they beat the Vikings, and we know how Kurt. But at the same time, Jones 300 yards passing, he threw 5 picks last year, man. So at the very least, he's taking care of the rock. Now, fumbling has been a problem with him, especially, and this is something that I'm starting to get pissed off about because quarterbacks they're not seeming to get the blame for fumbles besides Jones, right? If you're standing back in the pocket and the defensive end comes and swipes the ball, knocks it out for a sack fumble, that's still your fault. That's your fault.
Yes, it is.
I don't want to care about, it's TJ Watt, it's Myles Garrett, it's Aaron Donald. So what? Hold the damn ball. One thing I like about Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, is when they get sacked, the first thing they do is tuck the rock in. You know what I mean? So
or they throw it away as far as possible.
Right. But I do think Jones right now, I think he's a little bit better. He's a little bit ahead. Did they come in the same draft class or was that?
Nope, it was a year apart.
Who got here first?
Daniel Jones.
Okay, so that could be it. For all I know, that could be it. I'm curious now because right now, without Barkley, this Giants team is trash. Trash, right? trash.
Yep.
So now they got Dayball. The Bears have nobody. So I'm not putting them on it even. I'm talking about how I see them play. The way I see the thing I can say about Jones is he at least hikes the ball. Okay, that's not there. Now he may throw it away. He may take off and run, or yes, sometimes he will throw the pick. The pick six against Seattle was horrible. I'm not, you know what I mean? But with Fields, sometimes it looks like he's dropping back and he doesn't know what to do. Now, that could DJ Moore is a good receiver, Devontae. He is
He's just not a number one. That's what I said. He's not a number one.
And there have been times where his receivers have been open, and he's just like sitting there. But my thing is, as a young kid, whether it's Shroud, whether it's Bryce Young, if you don't know, take off and run. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Take off and run. Fields is back there just like, and the thing is like he's doing, and I kind of got on Shador about this. Deion's son is instead of stepping up in the pocket, you want to back up and reverse pivot, and that's cool. But it's the NFL; they're going to get you. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So right now I'm picking Jones, but that's like picking vomit versus diarrhea, man.
How I feel about it is kind of saying basically we're watching what the best Daniel Jones could be. The best Daniel Jones you can maybe possibly get was against the Vikings game versus true raw uncut talent. That's just in the wrong place. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this right now, Jason. If they offer if the Bears say the Bears suck, right, and they have the number 1, 2 pick or whatever, and say they try to trade Justin Fields so they can get Caleb Williams, probably going number 2, number 1 or 2. I will take Justin Fields on my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Don't do it
so fast.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Fast.
It won't work.
I promise you it will.
He holds the ball too long. He holds the ball too long.
I promise you it will.
Nope. So now, if you want to say that, and use them how they used Lamar, and was it 2019? I think it was when he just ran wild. Fine, but as a passer, he ain't throwing 38 touchdowns like Lamar did. Right. My thing is, when it comes to the gimpiness, right? When it comes to the gimpy, if both of them can't run, who's better? I think it's Daniel Jones. That's the only reason why I'm picking Daniel Jones. Justin Fields, he gets a step. The kid is gone in the NFL against NFL speed. He's gone.
Electric. He's electric.
But my thing is when he's when he's stuck in the pocket, sometimes the kid look like he don't know what to do. Now, granted, give him Andy Reid, I think they'll get it right. But I don't 32 teams. Look, but same thing with Jones. I think you give Jones Andy Reid, he'll look good too. But at the same time, I think right now Jones is a little better pro quarterback.
I'm a rock with Fields because I think Fields is more electric. Fields has, if I need 30 points, I think Justin Fields has a higher ceiling to go get 30 points than Daniel Jones does.
I'll take Daniel Jones right now over Garoppolo. I'm not taking Fields over Garoppolo.
I will.
Let's get to the comments.
If you watched that Dolphins game last year, good Lord. Bro put up 44. I was
said Fields, no question. Just do this. Swap them and Fields on the Giants.
That's all more games.
Jones on the Bears is still losing and worse. Let me tell you right now, Justin Fields on his Giants team, I think the Giants are going to win maybe 4 games this year. I do think they'll beat the Raiders. So I'll give them that one. They'll beat the Raiders.
This guy.
I give the Giants 4 wins. I think with Fields, they'll win. And they already won one, right? Because they beat the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, we're talking about 3 more wins with Fields at quarterback with this Giants team. I'm not Swiss.
I know what you're talking about.
I'll give them 2 wins. So
go to the next comment.
Okay. Eagles. That is good, bro. So my guys, how are you? Your team stink. Eagles on top. Man, get the hell off this podcast.
Yeah, goodbye.
So you're building a team and you only have those 2 QBs available. I'm gonna need a dog and Jones ain't. I'm gonna need somebody who ain't scared in the pocket. And when I say scared, I'm not saying there's big guys coming to hit me. I'm not saying he's a punk. I mean scared in the point where he's literally Javonte. There's sometimes he's holding the ball here. He's not up here ready to throw. You know what I'm saying? He's not even here ready to tuck and run. He's holding the ball here ready to get sacked. Like, remember Brady, how he was towards the end of the year, where like the guy come running, he just ducked down. Like, that's what Fields is, bro. You use the legs to get out. He's not, I'm telling you. Now, I do bring. I'm not putting the blame on him. The Bears coaching staff is horrible, right?
Abysmal.
But it is. But you play where you play. I'm not high on Dayball, and I know he won Coach of the Year. I'm not high on him either. Just like a lot of folks saying Jones only throwing 5 picks last year. What's a fluke? How do we know Dayball is actually a great coach? He won Coach of the Year, but so did Matt Nagy with Trubisky.
I can tell you why it's a fluke. I'm gonna tell you why it's a little bit of a fluke. We always talk about the 5 interceptions, and then we always talk about, but he had a lot of fumbles last year.
6 fumbles. Yep.
6 fumbles.
Yep. So 11 turnovers.
11 turnovers. Then we always talk about the Vikings Giants game. We both picked the Giants to win the game because why? Why did we pick it? Because it's the prime time. It's Kirk Cousins, right? But that's beside the point. He played well in that game.
Sure.
Why nobody talk about what he did against the Eagles?
Because we knew the Eagles we knew the Eagles was a superior team.
But he played hot basura. And that's why, and I remember telling you
how did Brady look against Dallas's defense?
He got clapped, and that's why he retired. He got clapped, and that's why he retired. And then you start this year off against oh my God, who did they play this year? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
How he look. That's what I'm saying. And I'm talking about, and I mean this just to apply to him and Dak Prescott. When they win, not you. I'm not talking about you, but I'm saying when they win, we overdo the praise. When they lose, we act like it don't happen.
Right.
And I'm sick of it.
Look, if we're doing that, what about Fields against the Bears? Against the Chiefs.
Who the hell gave the Bears a chance to beat the Chiefs?
In terms of the offense.
They look bad. I've been further than tell you that.
So we're talking about the same thing here. It's just basically.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Last time didn't. Oh, my bad. You had disappeared for a moment.
Okay.
Last time I checked, didn't the Bears score at least 2 to 3 touchdowns in that game?
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah,
the Dolphins couldn't. The Giants couldn't score a touchdown, a touchdown.
Right.
And that's the problem. You know how I feel about offenses who can't score at all.
Sure. All right. Pop said, I'll take Fields. Bears have ruined the kid. Fields with Saquon would be better than Danny. They won a playoff game together. Fields wants to play NFL football, but hasn't really been taught. Dimes is better right now, but overall,
saying Jones, he's better right now. I said Hines. I got confused.
Okay. Jones is better right now, but we're talking about right now. Look, I think you give them both Andy Reid, they're gonna look good. You know what I mean? But we're talking about right now. Now, I do want to see Fields go someplace else or I would like to see Eric B take that job out there. So I'm not. Look, I wish both of them get a roster because both rosters are trash. And don't get me started on Darren Waller. It's a reason why he was the only Raider who left that I was like. Yeah.
Okay.
He out there yeah, right. All right. He says, so is the Bengals QB. He got his bag and now plays. He's hurt. Look.
We ain't doing all that.
He's out there. He's putting bad tape out. So I'm not going to say that he's completely absolved, but at the same time, he's hurt.
But I will say, if they're not better this year, how much you want to bet Zach Taylor on the hot seat?
What'd you say?
I will say the Bengals do miss the playoffs this year. How much you want to bet Zach Taylor on the hot seat?
Which is crazy, but
bro, he doesn't make good decisions. He really doesn't make good decisions.
I know. Saber said, I'll put my damn self in you. Oh, man.
Hey, man.
Said, Giants not beating the Raiders. Look, man, let me tell you something about the Raiders. They're a bad franchise who still plays down the competition. I know the Raiders are more talented than the Giants, right? I know that. But I also remember a time where the Raiders played the Bears with Justin Fields. And the Raiders they literally went to the playoffs that year and they lost to the Bears. The Raiders lost to the Steeler team where, bro, that was the best game the Steeler offense looked all year.
Facts. Y'all gonna blow it up at the end of the season, though. I have a feeling.
Giants will upset Eagles and hell no.
Hell no. I am no.
Look,
no.
Now, if you want to say Washington the next time,
I got Washington in that game.
I think Dallas and Philly was going to split anyway. Washington, yes. I think Giants are getting swept by everybody.
I think Washington's going to split bullets. Is going to split probably with everybody in the division, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. The last thing before we get out of here. Big game. Sunday night. Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Taylor Swift is nowhere to be found for this game.
Thank God.
Devontae, who wins? What do you got for the score?
Okay, so first off, yeah, I know Taylor Swift won't be there, but we also got another big hoe in the arena, and that's Jerry Jones, okay? Jerry Jones, one of the biggest hoes to walk the planet. Ho, 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 like Uncle Elroy. Like, bro, I got the Niners, and I'd say I give, I think the Niners score maybe over 20. Over 20. I'd say I give the Cowboys maybe like 14 tops.
2014, 21-14, 20.
Not like 20, like I'm talking like 28-14, 35-14, something like that.
28-14.
Yeah, like 28-14.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm more comfortable with 28-14. I think it'd be about 2 scores, and like I think it'll look good that on Dallas that it's only by 2 scores, but the game itself won't be close. Only because I think this is going to be a game where, remember how earlier I was talking about with my own team, or where it's like sometimes you can't just lean on the defense all day.
Yep.
This is going to be that game where it's like, all right, Dak, you going to have to do something with the offense. Do I think the offense is capable of doing anything? No, I don't. And especially now, honestly, I think this game would have been a lot more closer if Trayvon Diggs is out there. But obviously,
he's not.
Prayers up to him, ACL, prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets better. Now you just got Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
And at this point, one of the hardest players to double team because of the way they use him is Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Deebo Samuels, because they got him in the backfield. They got him doing orbits and orbit motions and all this other stuff. Then you got basically MVP Christian McCaffrey, who is balling right now, and Brandon Ayuk, who's like, I think he's like top,
juggernaut.
Top in receiving yards and stuff like that. Now, all of that, and then you're asking Dak to win the game with Deuce Vaughn, Tony Pollard, and CeeDee Lamb.
Sure.
With Tyron Smith out already.
Yep.
Which is great. One of the best left tackles in this game.
Sure.
Plays 5 games a year.
Sure. You're absolutely right.
So with all these things,
28-14 you got?
28-14 is what I got.
49ers. All right. Look, man, I picked the Niners to go to Super Bowl, and that's because I have them beating Dallas in the divisional round. I have them beating who do I have? No, I'm sorry. I had them beating Dallas in the
NFC Championship.
NFC Championship. I had them beating Philly in the divisional round. I'm sorry. They're gonna lose this game to Dallas. And here's why, right? They're gonna lose the game to Dallas because this is the only game I think of the entire year Dallas has circled, right? But in typical Cowboy fashion, when they play them in the playoffs, they're gonna get smoked. You know what I mean? They're gonna get smoked in the playoffs. But I think it's good. This reminds me a lot of the inverse of how it was with Dallas and Tampa Bay, right? Now they smoked them in the playoffs, but they lost to them in the beginning of the year, right? I think it's going to be opposite. I think basically what's going to happen is I think Brock Purdy, I'm going to say this. I have no problems with the kid. I love the Mr. Relevant thing. Has he ever been a harm's way, Devontae, besides when he physically got hurt against Philly?
No, they keep him clean.
I'm going to ask you this. Now, I know the answer is yes. There's been 2 instances. Has he ever played from behind?
Not really, no.
7-0 and 3-0. That's it. You know what I mean? Here's how I think they're going. I think the defensive line is going to get to him. I think he's going to throw a pick. And I think one thing Dallas do when they get their hands on the ball, the defense I'm talking, they bring it to the house. I think Brock Purdy would throw a costly pick 6. I think Dallas will win, and then get smoked in the playoffs because they're going to be like, "Oh, we beat them already." Just like we picked up. Well, we didn't pick them, but I picked them to beat Tampa last year, and they got beat. I didn't think they'll smoke them, right? So I'm not going to smoke them. I'm going Dallas 21, San Fran 17. That close of a game. I think Purdy gets the ball, try to drive down the field late in the game. You can't run. You can't run the rock with McCaffrey now. You know what I mean? I think he's going to throw the pick to Gilmore to lose the game. 21-17 Dallas.
Man, hell no, I ain't picking Dallas to win, bro. What? I do not like.
You don't
bro.
gotta pick them, but you're wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Jason. You are smoking that stuff. Like you are smoking that true stuff. You're telling me, like I don't, bro. I do in big games. In big games,
When it comes to Dak Prescott,
yes.
I trust neither. Purdy or Prescott. I trust neither.
And let me tell you this. Do you know how sad that is? You know how sad that is? How many years Dak Prescott been in the league? I believe since 2016, 2016, because that was Tony Romo's last year when he hurt his back.
Yep.
Bro's been playing since 2016. Brock Purdy was a 7th round draft pick last year.
It's week 5. I'm not talking about winning the Super Bowl.
No,
it's
I know.
Week 5.
I
understand.
Look.
How do you think the Niners feel going into this game? Isn't it a lot like how the Dallas felt about playing the Cardinals? We beat these guys. We beat up on these guys all the time.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's like, you know what? We're gonna put this to bed now. Because think about it. I'm gonna tell you why they're gonna put this to bed. You know why? Because I am sick of these people who are very delusional, thinking the Cowboys have the number 1 defense in the league. And I guarantee you, McCaffrey's like, oh, they the number 1 defense? Say less. Let's go. Dude, let's go. And this is the game. I can't wait. I got circled for this game. This game was for me. I want to see this Micah Parsons try like, and this is the truest test of him in the run game. See if he, because he's played. Me and you can both agree he played very much better against the run these first 4 games.
He did. Yeah.
This is the star test. This is the one where I'm like, all right, show me something. Show me something.
So let me ask you this: if they beat the Niners, what does it mean?
I will be thoroughly impressed.
See, the opposite to me. It means nothing in terms of the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? I just think they got this game circled because they got knocked out by them last 2 years.
The Cowboys winning a big game in primetime television especially if Dak wins it on a 2-minute drive, even if it's to get a field goal, even if you don't score a touchdown at the end of the game, even if it's to get a field goal, I'd be genuinely shocked.
I'd look 21-17. Let's get to these comments, man.
By all means.
Saber said, Niners. 40-17.
I'm not surprised.
Look,
not surprised.
Niners are good. They ain't that damn good. Now, granted, I picked them to go to Super Bowl. They ain't that damn good. I watched all 4 games. They're good. Their defense is good, right? Obviously, Bosa's that dude. You know, like Greenlaw, Warner, Hufanga. They monsters. But it's week 5. But like, ain't the playoffs. It's week 5.
Agree. You know what? I agree with you.
Pop said Des Bryant. I think he means CD Lamb drops the ball. Niners win in a close one. It's funny though. Des dropped it. Niners about to assert dominance. Kittle don't even got to touch the ball on the Niners offense.
All you got to do is block, which he's really good at, by the way.
Purdy, both of them. Shanahan, whether it's Mike or Kyle, you play in that system, you got to block. If you don't block, they literally won't throw you the ball. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to block. I think it's week 5. I think Dallas is. I think it means more to Dallas. I think San Fran. Honestly, besides playing Sunday night, I think they see it as another game. To be honest, I think
I'm more
Dallas
inclined with picking them against Philly versus picking them against San Fran.
They're gonna be both the first time, and they're gonna split with Philly, and then they'll lose to the Niners in the playoffs. Said pass it. I'll be surprised if the Cowgirls don't show themselves as frauds. Look, I think the Niners, they're not going 17-0. So
no,
they're going to lose some games. I think this will be one of them. I don't think it means nothing for the Niners either if they lose the game. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that I think Dallas has it circled. I think they're going to win.
I'm going Niners for sure.
Said trust. I don't trust you. Pop said Devontae sound like Stephen A. Smith when he talk about the cow.
No way. It's funny you said that. Because you know what's gonna happen if the Cowboys win. You're gonna see dudes like Michael Irvin. You're gonna see Michael Irvin go in the undisputed and sweat half the time with his. In my opinion, I think it's water because who sweat that damn much on television? And
he gonna be saying a lot.
And he gonna be saying all this stupid stuff like, "I drew the line in the sand. I told you. No, you didn't, bro. You didn't believe the Cowboys was gonna win."
Right.
You got to just wait. So everything bad happens to the Dallas Cowboys because they live in fairy tale land.
Look, man. Let me talk about Brock Purdy real quick. I like him. Like, I actually think the marketing stuff he has going on right now, I think is genius. I know he hasn't lost as a starter. I'm not counting Philly game because he got hurt. But look, man, I'm looking at the numbers for him, and I know they run the rock, right? But the thing I see best about him is the zero in the interception column, right? Does have a fumble, but the 0 in the interception column. Other than that, he's all right. He's like Dak Prescott. The difference is the Cowboys just kind of lean on Dak more, obviously, right? And McCaffrey just hands off the rock. That's why I think Dallas, all they got to do, look, any team, and I'm not saying it's easy because that defense, again, they monsters. I think Dallas is going to jump out to a lead, and then I don't think Purdy can catch up. That's all. All right. Danny B. says 49ers walking over them. Oh, my God. Bro. Pop said Terrell Owens cries.
Hey, man. Like, I know how we talk about what's his face? Andy Reid. As Andy Reid's obviously one of the probably the greatest play caller on offense. Maybe you could probably agree.
I think he is.
I will tell you, in the league right now, my personal favorite play caller is Kyle Shanahan, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Until late in games.
Sure, I'm not mad at that, but like I will say, my favorite play caller is Kyle Shanahan because he's the only one of the only offenses you can see that is truly built for any quarterback to come and play and be somewhat successful.
That is true.
That is incredible to me.
That is true.
That's just my personal preference.
That is true. So Dak will throw to the other team when you just said Purdy don't do that. Dak Prescott has 1 pick this year. He has 1 pick. It's 4 weeks.
It's one of the worst picks of all time.
It's 4 weeks. It's not worse than the pick Jones threw Monday night.
Nasty work. Nasty work. He threw it directly to him.
Look, man. Fields threw an out route out of bounds against the Broncos.
Hey, he didn't look him dead in the soul and just go, here.
He said, bro, lots of box. Buffalo ain't that far away, man. So the key for Dallas is to limit the yards after catch and tackling.
And Dallas don't tackle. At least the secondary don't.
Yo, I'm telling y'all. But, yo, that's all we got for this week, man. We'll be back next week to talk about how Dallas beat the Niners. We'll be talking about how Daniel Jones won their game. Justin Fields lost again. But, yo, as always, appreciate the love and support. Y'all appreciate
it. Crazy.
We'll be back next week on our regular night of Tuesday nights, recapping all of week 5. Devontae, that Thursday night game, Chicago and Washington.
It's the ugliest game, but I got
nasty game. Washington easy. Easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back next week, Tuesday. Talk about it. Devontae, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at Devontae Forever on everything. If you like football, I talk a lot of football. Talk a lot of Steelers stuff. Follow me, Jay. Thank you for having me. I will see you next week.
No doubt. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.